Show for you, called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
WOCA.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Wednesday morning. You made it to the middle of the week right now here at the Paddock Mall. It is 68 degrees, and we've had like a thunderstorm every day today.
Yeah.
As unlikely as it looks right now, today there's a 70% chance we'll see more rain and possible thunderstorms.
Yep.
Well, likely, maybe is a stronger word than possible. And that's not unusual. There was a period of time where it stopped doing that, but I remember it wasn't that long ago where that was the norm for summertime in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Or at least in Central Florida, right?
Right,
The only part I really know.
Exactly.
All right. Real quickly, a few things before we get into the meat of this segment here. We still are running, of course, our 50 Chick-fil-A sandwich giveaway.
Yep.
Each month we will read a short letter, an essay, a paragraph, whatever you send us, and we will read one per month of somebody who you or some organization that somebody out there has nominated to be the recipient of 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A here in the Paddock Mall. The folks here at the Chick-fil-A have teamed up with Joe Martone and WOCA The Source to do this, and we're very proud of it. And so far, we've given away 2 batches of 50 sandwiches.
April and May.
And we're doing this every month, and we do it at the end of the month. Last month, we had to wait till the beginning of this month because Brian, the manager, I think he's the owner of that franchise of Chick-fil-A here in the Paddock Mall, he took the day off for his birthday, so we had to wait a day. But anyway, so we are doing this at the end of the month. It's already almost the middle of the month, and we are not in short supply. We have enough to make it through the year.
Yes, we do.
So I'm not begging, but I just don't want you to be left out. You know, if you send us an essay or a letter and tell us who you would like to nominate, we will read every single one of them, and we'll do our best to make sure that the people you want to honor with those 50 chicken sandwiches are honored, okay?
And it does take a little effort to write an essay as to why a person thinks, the organization should be nominated. It's more than just putting your name in the bowl, the fish bowl when the phone rings. But it's just really, really nice. They're very touching what we have.
And here's something else touching. There's an event happening. It's a free community event happening this Sunday, Father's Day. This Sunday. It's a Father's Day remembrance like never before. It's a kite flying event. Individuals who have experienced the loss will come together to fly kites in memory of a loved one. Free kites.
Yep.
Free kites will be provided for everyone. If you'd like to register for this uplifting experience, call Beverly Brown at Hires Baxley Community Care. And Beverly's number is 266-6373, 266-6373. The area code is 352. And this event will be 4 p.m. this coming Sunday. Let's hope that there's, 4 p.m. Could be rainy. Huh? There's usually wind, though, right?
Yeah, there is.
Usually wind. So you need wind for a kite. You don't need much.
No.
You just need enough. So.
And there are those windless kites. Sometimes they do that in Disney. They had that windless kite exhibition a few years ago.
I think it takes a little skill to do it. All right, so I want to tell you those 2 things. And also, there's a couple of ribbon cuttings events that the Chamber of Commerce, they don't call it the Chamber and Economic Partnership wants you to know about.
Yep.
Ooh, what did I do with my Thursday one? I have my Friday one. Isn't there a Thursday one somewhere?
I've got these.
All right, what's the Thursday one? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I lose papers. It's amazing. All right, tomorrow, the Heart of Florida Health Center is having a ribbon cutting at 4 p.m., and they are at 100 Marion Oaks Boulevard in Marion Oaks, and you can help them celebrate the opening of their business. And then on Friday, there's a Pinch a Penny Pool Supply ribbon cutting at 9 a.m., and they are located on Silver Springs Boulevard. The address is 3855 East Silver Springs Boulevard. Pinch a Penny Pool Supplies ribbon cutting. Go celebrate with them their business. Being in business is a good thing, and it's one of your one of the cool things about America.
It is. We advocate capitalism because that's what our country is built on.
All right, one of the things that we're not so happy with in our country is the shootings. Yesterday there was another one, a 14-year-old student shot and killed by another teen. It said it didn't really identify who he was, or even, at least last time I looked, didn't indicate whether the shooter was a student.
Oh,
this,
good.
of course, out in Oregon. Mm-hmm. The city of Troutdale, Oregon. Anyway, I wanted to kind of open the phones and let's discuss what do you think we should do about this. I want to start with an unrelated thought, okay? When you came back from New York, Robin, you told me something that I was surprised to hear. You said that every restaurant has a menu in its window before you walk into the store.
Yep.
I mean the restaurant.
Yep.
Right? And then you told me that was a law in New York City.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a good idea for a restaurant to put its menu in the window.
Yeah, that way you're not embarrassed if you can't afford that restaurant.
I think it's a bad idea that it was made into a law. What were they thinking? Mm-hmm. I mean, how can that represent freedom?
Yeah.
I mean, if you as a restaurant want to put your menu there, it's probably a smart idea because then passersby can say, "Oh, look what they got."
Yeah.
Or look, it's not so expensive.
Right.
Or it is too expensive. I don't want to go in.
Yeah.
All the above makes sense as to why you should put a menu in the window. Making it a law is not necessarily the best way to handle that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm not trying to trivialize the shooting topic that I want to talk about. What I'm trying to say is that we have a tendency in our culture to try to figure out what to do about a problem by creating a law when sometimes a campaign works better than a law. A great example of a campaign working better than a law was the no smoking campaign. Mm-hmm. Don't smoke, stop smoking, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That campaign probably has been more effective than if they had made smoking illegal.
Exactly.
If they had made smoking illegal, people would still be smoking and they'd be breaking the law doing it.
Sure.
Okay? So if you make guns illegal, and I know you've heard this argument 100 times, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but just it needs to be said. If you made guns illegal, then they would still be out there. But the only problem is they'd be in the hands of people who don't mind breaking the law. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the cigarettes.
Exactly.
And if they're in the hands of somebody who doesn't mind breaking the law, guns I mean, then they're probably in the hands of somebody who doesn't mind using them illegally.
Right.
Or for the wrong purposes. Since the 2012 shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, there have been an average of 1.37 school shootings for each school week.
Gee.
Did you realize that?
No.
According to data maintained by a group called Every Town for Gun Safety. This is a group fighting to end gun violence. This is a group wanting ideas. If you include yesterday's incident at the high school in Troutdale, Oregon, 74 school shootings have taken place in the 18 months since the Newtown shooting. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. This is in America. The average school year typically lasts 180 days, which means there have been roughly 270 school days or 54 weeks of class since the shooting at Newtown, with 74 total incidents over that period. The nation is averaging well over one shooting per school week.
That is horrendous.
The president wants more regulation on the guns.
Yeah.
The data maintained by Every Town for Gun Safety also shows that these shootings have occurred throughout the country in all 31 states. Not in all. I said it the wrong way. In all, 31 states have had an incident of gun violence at a school. So 31 states have had an incident. Georgia has witnessed more incidents than the other states. 10 shootings at schools in Georgia since Sandy Hook, which was, again, what was it, December of 2012?
Mm-hmm.
There have been 7 school shootings here in Florida. 7.
That is horrendous.
Unbelievable, disheartening. It's so troubling. 5 in Tennessee, 4 in North Carolina, 4 in California. So what do you think we should do? I'm going to the phones now. My quick thought is this. Maybe it's our entertainment. Maybe it's because we have caved in and allowed people who don't want religion in schools. I know some of you scoff at that.
Yeah, but it's
But if you
true.
believed in God, if you believed that, if let's just say, I mean, you can't say, there's no way I can put one label on all the shootings, but let's say somebody goes out shooting because he feels hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you teach about God, then there's hope.
Exactly.
All right? So I'm just saying maybe it is that. Maybe it is the video games that are way too violent. And I'm not saying every kid is. You might tell me, my son plays those video games. He never did. My son did too.
Yeah, my kids.
But there are some kids out there that are greatly influenced by that or by music. Now, again, go back to my comment about the menu, because this is where that applies. I don't think there should be a law against them, because that would be unconstitutional. I don't think there should be a law against them, but I do think there should be campaigns against them. Mm-hmm. That's my thought. That's why I brought up the menu thing, just so you know where I was going with that and why I brought that up in the first place. All right, the rest of this, I just want you all to contribute to it if you don't mind. 622-9622. Good morning. I know you've waited a long time. I apologize for that, and I appreciate your patience. You're first. Good morning.
Good morning, Larry and Robin.
What do you think, Doug?
What I think is take rid of every guns or whatever. Just if they don't like you, all you have to do is love them, because we don't need the hatred. We don't need any more violence on this God-breathed earth. All we have to do is keep our enemies closer to us. That's how we can make peace. And that's in the Bible.
All right, Doug. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, love everybody, and there's a good message right there. They say he's got a mental handicap. Sometimes I think he's smarter than many of us.
Certainly, I concur.
Good morning. You're on the air. What do you think?
Yeah, good morning. I would remind you all that a few years ago, a man broke into an old order Amish schoolhouse and shot it up. It was the one place in Pennsylvania that he absolutely knew no one would have any kind of armament to fire back at him.
Yeah, we remember that.
Yeah, so what do you think?
Free zones are just the target.
Okay, so that's what we shouldn't do. What should we do?
There should be some kind of allowance for somebody that has firearms training on the staff of the school to possess a firearm.
Okay. I think
the principal, the vice principal, and one of the gym teachers, whatever.
Yeah. All right, Jim. And by the way, happy birthday. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
I saw
Thank you very much. Bye.
I saw it was his birthday on Facebook.
Happy birthday.
The one thing I wanted to say about that is that, do you remember the other day we had that discussion with the police officer from the Las Vegas Police Department? Mm-hmm. And he was the first to tell us that the lady who got killed at the Walmart in that shooting had a gun.
Yeah.
And perhaps when she pulled her gun, although she died, may have prevented other people from getting killed.
That's what I believe.
Could easily be. Good morning. You're on the air. What do you think?
Well, first I want to say I strongly agree with what Jim said. But Larry, you hit the nail on the head when you said it. This is an indication of the breakdown of our society. It really is. And if I say the word Columbine, everybody knows the first thing that's going to pop into your head. And that was years ago. That was probably almost 20 years ago. But what happened is these kids, and part of it is the video games, and part of it is lack of parental supervision. These kids, if a troubled kid wants a shortcut to fame, and if you want to call it some kind of dark, tragic immortality, all he has to do is go to the school and start blasting away. And I think the media is fascinated by this because it feeds into the liberal agenda of gun control. But if they would just put a media blackout on these kids and not talk about their manifesto that they wrote and not talk about their video they put on YouTube and everything else. And so many of these kids have psychological problems too. We need to look at that. But the short-term solution is, instead of making some kind of, I don't want to say hero because that's not the right word, some kind of horrible celebrity out of these kids, they should just put a media blackout on it, on the kid and his background and all of his stuff that he posted on the internet, and I think that would help to alleviate it. Thank you very much, Larry.
Thank you, Pete. That's an idea. I wonder if it would work. I've thought that myself, too.
And I think the parents, too. I mean, if the parent sees that their child is acting up and he's being disrespectful and just, not caring, that they should confront the child, even though, they might be embarrassed to do so. They should, ask their child, hey, I've noticed a change in behavior. What's going on? How can I help? I know a lot of parents don't want to do that, but they should.
And the president says, and I don't have it in front of me, so can't read the quote, but he basically implied that we're the only country that has these problems because of the easy access to guns. So that's the direction he's going. And so
I don't think that's the issue, the problem.
Good, and which is why I brought up the law versus campaign topic. Good morning. You're next. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Larry Robin. Number one, anything that president says is absolutely wrong, and it's unbelievable. If you want to talk about we're the only country, excuse me, wasn't there a big, a vast number of students killed in Russia because of terrorist or somebody jumping in there and had free reign?
Yes.
No guns to defend them.
Yes.
So there was a gang of students shot there. How about that Norway? There was students all gathered on this island.
That's right, yeah.
Of course, we can't have a gun in a place like Norway. I mean, I guess people do hunt there. I know that much. But as far as anything to do with students and schools, etc., no, nothing. This guy had free reign to kill whoever he wanted on that island.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to say it doesn't this is the only country it happens is so vastly wrong and just an out-and-out lie as far as I'm concerned. But then again, he isn't called the liar-in-chief for nothing. But as far as our schools go, when I went to school, we had what they called truant officers. And again, I'll say most of them were all retired police officers. And for some reason, boy, they use their skills that they acquired over the years of being a police officer to know where to be when something was about to happen. And it just seems like they were there. They just had like a sixth sense when there was going to be some kind of trouble. Bingo, they were there. And they didn't fool around with these kids that didn't want to behave and go with the program. They went to juvenile court and they went to what they call reform school. But we don't want to be do anything to annoy their sensitivities, so we tolerate this.
Yeah.
I think we ought to bring back, our truancy officers and have them armed like they used to be.
I think that this school, thank you, Sonny. I think that this school yesterday did have an armed officer on duty. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Good morning. You're next. What do you think?
Yeah. Good morning, guys.
Hey, you.
I agree with all the callers so far. Basically, what I believe when it comes down to it's the breakup of the family, the disrespect, the lack of a father image. That goes into the family, into the kids, and they get no discipline, and they do what they do want to do. They see all this junk on TV and in the movie theaters, and you think they can just make a point by going out with a gun and doing what they do.
Yeah. So, any ideas on what we should do, though?
Well, I don't know. It's really, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just such a great big problem that's only going to get worse. I don't know. Maybe have the military come into the schools and push some discipline that way, or whatever. Make it mandatory for ROTC for the students, or maybe, I don't know, something like that. Maybe.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. I wanted to bring up something from December of 2012, right after the Sandy Hook shootings, when we were talking about this as we are today. There was a story in the news and on Meet the Press. The executive vice president of the National Rifle Association appeared on the show. And he was talking about Israel. And this is what he said. LaPierre is his name. He said, Wayne LaPierre, I'm sorry. He said, Israel had a whole lot of school shootings until they did one thing. They said, we're going to stop it. And they put armed security in every school, and they have not had a problem since then. That's what he said on the broadcast.
So they were right up front then. I mean, people knew there was an armed person there because that person was extremely visible.
The response from Israel when he said that was, such shootings are very rare in Israel and have been associated only with terror attacks, not with crazed gunmen. Mm-hmm. A spokesman for the Israeli Foreign Ministry said the situation in Israel was fundamentally different from that in the United States. He went on to say, quote, we didn't have a series of school shootings, and they had nothing to do with the issue at hand in the United States. We had to deal with terrorism. What removed the danger was not the armed guards, but an overall anti-terror policy and anti-terror operations which brought street terrorism down to nearly zero after a number of years. It would be better not to drag Israel into what is an internal American discussion, which, okay, that aside, listen to what they did in Israel to combat the problem. Basically, they treated it like terror, like a terrorism thing. In recent years, restrictions on gun ownership in Israel have been tightened, not relaxed, according to the article. Israeli citizens are not allowed to carry guns unless they are serving in the army or working in security-related jobs. But there's a lot more military visible in Israel. The worst attack on an Israeli school was in 1974 when terrorists from the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine took 115 people hostage in a school in northern Israel. So, I don't know. Sometimes when there's a problem, whether it's a local municipal problem or something like this, you look and see, did anybody else have this problem before? When you look at a country that says no guns, nobody can have any guns, and then you hear about somebody, wiping somebody out with a knife.
Right.
You say, well, you throw your hands up. What do you do?
Yeah.
I really think we have a culture that is the real blame here. I really think so. The point that the gunman went into the Amish school is a really good point. I mean, you need to have a strong defense, and you need to have a strong visible defense.
Yes.
And they often say that if anybody ever wanted to attack America, they'd be facing every gun-owning American.
Sure they would. Which
is kind of what our founding fathers wanted for us. So it's really more about somehow having a campaign of integrity. We going back to the cigarette campaign and why fewer people smoke now and fewer kids begin smoking. I'm not saying none of them do, but way fewer do than used to, and way fewer do than in other countries where they don't have these campaigns.
Yeah.
And if we were to instill in our selves, in our youth especially, if we were to instill somehow, maybe through films, I don't know, maybe the movie makers are not really to blame, but at the same time they are. Maybe we need, and again, this whole idea of not allowing or making it seem uncool to teach religion, uncool to believe in the teachings of Jesus. Hello? What the heck? What are they thinking? Who do they want you to follow?
Exactly.
You know, if there's any person, if you don't want to believe he's the Son of God, that's, I guess, your prerogative. Mm-hmm. But look at what the man taught.
Yeah.
Look at the peaceful way he taught you to live.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
How could anybody say that teacher didn't have a good thing to teach?
Right. He's a teacher.
Sorry, I'm running out of time.
Oh.
But anyway, so we obviously didn't solve any problems here, but I wanted to discuss it. This group wants you to discuss it, and if you want their name again, we've got to run, but I'll tell you later. We'll be back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A GOP establishment upset in Virginia.
He was considered next in line to hold the Speaker's gavel, the number 2 Republican in the House, losing a GOP primary to a political novice.
The good news is dollars don't vote, and so people do, so I just paid attention to people.
Dave Bratt, an economics professor, derailing what was thought to be another easy re-election for Eric Cantor in Virginia's 7th Congressional District.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern.
Cantor aides have not said whether or not the majority leader is considering a write-in effort for November's general election.
Bratt facing off against Democrat Jack Tramiel. They both teach at the same small college in suburban Richmond, Virginia. The trucker involved in a crash that killed one person and injured comedian Tracy Morgan in New Jersey due in court today. And a probate judge in Los Angeles asked to confirm Shelley Sterling's authority to sell the LA Clippers. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business, Cavuto, shedding light on the biggest stories making headlines at 8. Only on the Fox Business Network.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Yeehaw! Howdy, folks. RL here to invite you to DQ. Dairy Queen is serving the crispiest, juiciest, most tasty chicken tenders, all beef chili dogs, and quarter-pound cheeseburgers on earth. And you get crispy fries, a drink, and an ice cream sundae of your choice for only $5. Remember, at DQ, you can lick their cones, but you can't beat their shakes. Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, loss proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
All right, 3 minutes after 8 o'clock, and nice looking, what is today, Wednesday?
Yep.
Wednesday.
It's beautiful.
70 degrees here at the Paddock Mall. Galen Unold is on the phone from Life South to remind us of the importance of donating blood. Good morning, Galen. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Larry. Robin, how are y'all?
Pretty good. And where are you right now?
I'm in the tree zone, Larry.
In the tree zone. It just sounds so nice to be in the tree zone.
Yeah.
Don't you love when you travel and you're in that? Of course, most of traveling is the tree zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which state you go in. But
yeah,
yes.
that's true. If I guess you're in Arizona, you're in the sand zone.
Yeah, you're in the desert.
Yeah. Have you ever driven across the country?
Yeah.
So when you're driving west to east from LA to Florida, which was my route, it was about the middle of Texas where it started to be green again. It was pretty sandy all the way up until about that point.
Yeah, you have to get on this side, really, of Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember first driving through there. I think, this is cool. Look at these mountains. Look at this desert. This is beautiful. After a while, it's like, holy cow, is this all there is? When does this end? It took forever to get through it. Felt like.
Give me something green.
Yes. Anyway, how's the blood supply?
Again, we have a little over a day and a half of O negative, so we're running a little low there. But we really need AB plasma. So if you're a male donor, please give. And you're an AB. Yeah.
Tom Davis did a good job. He sent out a press release yesterday, and we put it on the WOCA Facebook site about the importance of donating the AB. And he had details in there, which was really fascinating.
Yeah, all about the HLAs and all that. Yeah, that's...
What is that?
We're trying to... It's the antigens that we've talked about that you develop when you become pregnant, give birth. So we've talked about that a lot. So, yeah.
I never knew that. HLA.
Yeah.
Sounds like a new city. Right. By the way, right now it's 97% humidity. No wonder it's...
Wow.
No wonder it's muggy.
It's going to rain today, Larry. It's going to rain today.
Gonna rain, yeah. All right, so... before I say anything else, I do have a silly topic, and it always feels weird when I have a serious topic and then I switch to a silly one. But anything you want to say before we go there?
No, we need silly.
We need silly. Okay. Have you heard about this movie called Sex Tape?
No.
Okay. It comes out next month in July. It's a story about a guy named Jay and his wife named Annie. And 10 years into their marriage, and they have 2 children, 10 years into the marriage, things have cooled off a little bit. They decide to spice up their marriage, and they videotape themselves trying out every position in The Joy of Sex, the book. And they videotape themselves doing this, and it takes 3 hours. So they have a 3-hour video, right?
Okay.
So before they go to bed, or to sleep, rather, I should say. Before they go to sleep, she says, make sure you erase that thing. Oh, okay. So he pushes the button and goes to bed, and then, of course, the camera is on. I saw the trailer, is how I know this. The camera is on the computer, and it shows it not being deleted, but rather uploading to the cloud. Anyway, so all their friends get this video. It looks like a funny video. I mean, a funny movie. So it's an embarrassing moment for them, obviously, to say the least.
That's got to be a good movie.
And so there's a British gambling company
yeah.
that has published the results of a survey in which they ask, what is the most likely embarrassing moment that you will experience in the course of your life?
Oh, wow.
So I have the answers to those questions.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
I love real life.
Getting lost. There's no real order here, I don't think. But getting lost is an embarrassing thing.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever been embarrassed by being lost?
Yeah, it's embarrassing when you get lost and you are driving your boss. And you know where you're going, and all of a sudden you realize you have no idea where you're going. Yeah.
Has that happened to you? Has that happened to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has. And I forgot about this story, but you just reminded me of a story. When singer and songwriter Harry Chapin died, his brother Stephen Chapin did a tribute concert to him here in Ocala. Okay? Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Castro, who had a wonderful theater over there on the Castro property, the theater's gone, but she asked Jeff Dillon and I, Jeff Dillon from WMOP at that time, if we would drive down to the airport and pick them up. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Jeff presumed I knew the way, and I thought I did. Anyway, we went down to the airport, and we picked up these musicians and whatever. And I'm driving, and all of a sudden I see the sign that says New Smyrna. And I'm thinking, New Smyrna. Oh, man. He's following me. He's following me. And we have in the car Harry Chapin's brother.
Yeah.
And the guy that they called Big John was the bass player for the band. Uh-huh. Right? And they're saying, boy, how far away is this town? I said, we're almost there.
Oh, gosh.
We're almost there. Yeah. So it's and Jeff's got some people in his car too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was embarrassed. So there you go.
So you just turn left instead of turning right. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. To be honest with you, we got there and Bernadette was at the door waiting for us. And she said, "Boy, what did you guys take a detour?"
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I wonder if he ever. I wonder if Jeff remembers that. I'm sure he does.
I bet he does. I
don't know that I fessed up though. I think I just pretended. No, that was the best way.
Yeah.
No, as far as I know, that was the best way to go from Orlando.
No, that's good. You can't admit that there was a wrong turn.
Yeah. All right. Another thing that is embarrassing is when you burp accidentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you?
I'm sure it has.
On the air?
Not. Yeah. Sure.
Can you imagine?
I mean, you can.
I know. We've heard
if you're
some.
really nervous, you'll almost like hiccup or burp or something. Yeah.
Or
that's
yawn
not
or
good.
something like that and make all those noises.
Public speaking. Can you imagine public speaking?
Oh.
One time I was doing something. It was to a smaller group, and I had a microphone. And I just had a sneeze, and it wasn't one of those where I saw it coming so I could do anything about. It was just one of those sneezes. And I'm looking at the microphone going, oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, I couldn't, it was sometimes the sneeze is coming. This one just came out really fast, and I was like, I had to look at that microphone for the rest of it.
Oh, no.
Or napkin or something, not to be too obvious.
Oh, no.
So that's all I could focus on for the rest of that presentation with my microphone.
Don't get close.
I wish
Did we lose you, Galen? You there?
Galen?
Oh, I think we lost him. All right.
Hello. Oh, it's still blinking here.
Galen, we don't hear you.
There he goes. He'll call back.
At all. We don't hear you at all.
I'll tell you when the light's on.
All right. So anyway, we'll wait for him to call and then he'll get back.
Yeah, that had to have been awful for him. Having that sneeze and knowing you have to chat in a microphone and then you can't, just don't touch it and you got all those germs right there.
Now, I knew a guy, and you know him
there
too.
he is.
I want to make sure, Galen, how do I do this? I push this button over here. I should know how to answer the phone by now. Galen, are you there?
Yeah, I guess I went to a dead zone.
Okay.
I don't know why there's a dead zone in the tree zone, but
A dead zone in the tree zone. Well, anyway, I have a story from a guy I worked with on radio. And he was at the microphone, and apparently he had nicked himself shaving that morning. And he's got a guest, and he's talking, and he's like, kind of just scratching his face, and he pulls off the little scab that was formed that morning.
Oh!
All of a sudden, he's got this trickle of blood going down his cheek, and it's like, oh wow, do I say something? Say something.
That's a situation where a woman would handle it a whole lot better than a man.
Yeah, probably right. But because later on, he came out of the bathroom. He said, "Why didn't you tell me?"
That's why we have Kleenex here. In case something happens, you just discreetly whip out a Kleenex and give it to a person, and then it's like, okay, what do they want me to do with this?
Don't you hate when somebody tells you, though, you have something on your face? Oh, you got something right here. You got something right here.
I try to not do that.
All right, here's another thing that the gambling company, I don't know why gambling company did a survey on what embarrasses you, but here's the next one. Forgetting where you parked is embarrassing.
It is.
Have you ever had to have somebody drive you around to find your car?
Never. Have you?
Yeah. We went on I was at home from the Navy on leave, and we took a road trip, and we flew. Wasn't a road trip, but we flew to Tennessee, and driving there, I didn't drive my car. Somebody else drove because we had to drive incredibly fast to catch the plane. And so they're like, "Oh, I'll drive." I'm like, "Good, you can get the ticket."
Goodness.
And I have no idea where they parked, but they didn't fly back with me. And so,
okay.
Airport, and I like, oh boy, and this is pre-cell phones or anything like that. I remembered the lot area. It was like Lot B, I believe, in Orlando.
Oh, that's a big lot.
Yeah, and so I went to the security guard, and I'm like, "Look, I need to find my car. And so we literally drove every lane before we found it. And my car didn't have like the auto entry where you could push a button and open the doors.
Right.
So, now at least you could push that and get some general idea.
Right.
You have to just mow the lawn basically and go back and forth. It took a good 2 hours, and the whole time I keep asking the Sharon Curry, like, so thank you so much.
Oh, man.
So, man, could you imagine walking that? Because that was my alternative.
Yeah, that's horrible. And Disney is even worse, I would think.
Oh.
You remember we were parking Goofy.
Yeah.
And then you forget. Was it Goofy or was it Pluto? It was one of them. Goofy or Pluto.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You start talking yourself out of the truth. Yeah.
I bet you gave him a big tip, though, Galen, for driving you around.
No, I don't think I even had any money. I mean, I remember I just shook the guy's hand. I'm like, I don't have any money.
Thank you. All right,
I'm going to eat, too. I didn't have any money at that time.
Another thing that we become embarrassed at is being late.
Yeah.
I hate being late.
I hate being late.
I hate it.
I hate it so much. I'm very rarely late. So.
Mm-hmm. You're very punctual.
Do you make up an excuse just in case? I mean, do you have something? Maybe it's a lie, but do you have something ready?
No, I usually, if I'm late, it's because something pretty bad happened.
Yeah.
Or I'm with my wife. My wife is not as punctual as I am.
Oh, you blame it on her.
But yeah, well, I mean, even if like you're going over to a friend's house and you say around 6. Around 6 to me means 6.
Yeah.
We're there between 5:55 and 6:05.
Oh, don't you hate that? What time you having a party? Oh, 6, 7, whatever. You go 6 or 7.
I know.
Right. Time means something to me.
Are you embarrassed when you're the first one to arrive though?
No.
No?
Heck no.
I am
no,
sometimes.
You told me 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. 6 o'clock.
That's right.
Oh, I haven't taken my shower yet. Help yourself to the mints.
Yeah. I know.
I'll be in the shower.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that would be a little weird for them.
Thinking someone is waving at you when they are not is another thing we're embarrassed at.
That is horrible. You're in line, you're kind of looking, and all of a sudden they start waving, and you're like, hi, do I know you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's embarrassing.
Do you know, I had somebody behind me on one of those Bluetooth things asking somebody if they remembered the dog food, and I thought she was talking to me,
I know, that's embarrassing.
Did you remember the dog food? Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah, I've had that happen. That's weird.
Food stuck in your teeth is another thing we're embarrassed at. Over.
Yeah.
Yeah, spinach, broccoli, that kind of stuff.
Kind of the same thing as the
cream cheese.
Yeah. Waving at someone who doesn't see you. Another embarrassment. Hey!
That is weird. Or they see you like, I don't know you. It's the other side. You're like, oh.
When my dad was sick, the ladies, I guess it was a hospice lady. I think it was a nurse anyway. It was a humorous moment in a difficult time. This woman swore up and down I was a doctor.
Yes, she
And
did.
I said, no, I'm his son. I'm not a doctor. And she said, oh, come on. I worked with you for 3 years in Crystal River. I said, no, you didn't. Really?
She was serious.
She absolutely believed. I said, you got to be kidding. This is a doctor who looks like me? That's crazy.
We'll have to take a trip to Crystal River.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet.
Do you remember there was a lady
Yeah.
in the Crystal River McDonald's? There was a woman who looked just like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, she did. Honest, she did. We had to go back just to make sure we weren't seeing things, and she sure did.
All right, the next one is getting a stain on your white shirt.
That's bad.
Another thing we get embarrassed
that's annoying.
You know, one thing that I can't, and I'm horrible about this, is forgetting people's names.
Oh, yeah.
So when they come up and they're like, oh, they're your best friend, and you have to introduce them to the person next to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's embarrassing. You're like, oh, that's my wife, Christy. Can you please tell them your name?
Oh, you want to hear something happened just the other day? there was this lady, and we know her from being a listener, but we knew her name, but forgot her name.
Yeah.
And so I would say, Robert, what is her name? I can't remember. Me either. Oh man, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
We'll just avoid the name.
We know the person.
So she come up to us, look what I found. And she found an old business card with her name on it. And I said, wow, that's cool.
Yes. We were saved.
I said, you got to be kidding. That was like God working with us.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you start doing is when that happens, you start reaching into your bags of pronouns.
Right.
Hey, person. And then you start reaching. Hey, are you still working at the same place? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Trying to jog your memory.
Oh, I was in the bank, and there was a lady there, and I recognized her, and I had seen something either on Facebook or something, and I got her confused with somebody else. So I said, well, congratulations. That was a pretty cool thing you did, winning that Run Like a Dolphin game. And she said, I didn't win the Run Like a Dolphin game. I said, yeah, you did. It was on Facebook. And then I realized I had the wrong lady.
Yeah.
So.
Just like the other lady that thought you were the doctor.
Again,
It's hard.
It's awesome when you try to convince them of who they are.
Yeah,
they might end up believing you. That's scary.
You didn't win. You posted it on Facebook. You know why you won. I know you won. We all know you won.
Well, yeah, I had a memory lapse there. I'm sorry. I guess I did.
Another thing, getting embarrassed when the toilet doesn't work in someone else's home.
Oh yeah, I am always prepared.
Or you clog the toilet in somebody else's home.
Either way, it doesn't work.
No, it's not good either way. Nope.
When I go to somebody else's home, I'm always looking for that shut-off valve behind the commode, just in case something happens. I do, because you it starts to back up. You shut the valve, and the water does not go on the floor. I'm always looking for that.
Whoa.
I learned that a long time ago.
Tripping in public apparently is a popular thing to be embarrassed.
That's not a good thing. Yeah.
Let's see.
You know what's embarrassing is old photos of you at your worst. That somebody posts on Facebook saying, "Oh, remember this photo?" I'm like, "No, take it down." Wasn't my best moment.
I embrace everything. That's part of my life. I can't fix it. I'd rather just have it there.
Well, I was looking at it this way. Do I really look that much different or better now? I don't think so. I like worse. So as bad as I look back then.
It's when they catch you and your eyes are not really open, but they're kind of open. So you look like you're stoned out of your mind. You're like, I was full there. I don't remember doing drugs. I mean, So,
have you ever seen? Oh, by the way, we had remember we had this discussion about the trough in the men's room.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Well, I hope
forget that piece of societal bliss.
And now you know Lee Schwartz from the library, right?
I do know Lee.
You know Lee.
Yep.
Well, so he invited us to participate in this ice cream thing this past Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were there, he said he heard us talking about the trough story, and he had one he wanted to share with us. So I hope he doesn't mind. I'm going to share his story on the air right now.
Okay.
It was an embarrassing moment for Lee Schwartz when he was a little boy. He said his father worked in a factory, and his mother went to go pick him up. And the shift wasn't over yet, so he said he had to use the bathroom. So his mother said, well, go ahead. So he went into the men's room, and there was a trough. There was also a trough-like sink. So they both looked the same in his little eyes. He was a little boy.
Yeah, he didn't know.
And he said, well, I guess you go in this thing. Not knowing one was the sink, apparently. And then he told us this, so I hope he doesn't mind me repeating it.
Yeah, he said he was going to call it in, but he had a meeting to go to.
He did like little boys do. It wasn't just a zipper thing. It was you pull your pants down thing, okay?
Yeah.
So he pulls his pants down.
All the way to the ankles.
Right.
That's right. That's the code.
So he's standing there by himself, pulls his pants down, and he's doing the arc because he has to, because it's a little high for him.
Yeah. He's a tiny guy. Little guy.
That's what he told us.
He was very young.
And then he hears the whistle blow, meaning the end of the shift. then the bathroom fills up with men. And they're all saying, hey, you're peeing in the sink. And he said all of his life, as long as his father worked there, that's what they remember. This is the kid who peed in the sink.
Yeah.
That is great.
But he was little.
What's worse about that, him or his dad?
When he was young, nobody taught him that he should pee in a trough, and he was on his own, and he did what he did.
You don't see troughs very often. Even
No. Back then, I guess they were common.
No, back then it wasn't that long ago. He's a young guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It was at least 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing them in my back then.
Uh-huh.
The only place I ever saw a trough, and Galen said they're at, where did you say they're at the Speedway?
Yeah.
The only place,
they're at the Daytona Speedway, yeah.
the only place I ever saw a trough was at Ocala Springs up in Tallahassee.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 I don't know when I've seen a trough outside of there. Like, it's got to be an old bathroom. So.
Yeah, but that was a very, very cute story. When you're young, I mean, gosh, you don't get taught that stuff. You got to learn on your own.
And the one thing I always say is the reason I started giving blood, the reason I did not give blood right away is because I was always embarrassed that I was always thinking I would be embarrassed if I fainted or became faint-like after giving blood. Yeah. I didn't want people to see me that way. I wasn't afraid of the needle. I wasn't afraid of the idea of losing blood. I was afraid of being embarrassed. You know what I mean? That was the main reason I stayed away until I was in my 40s. So
yeah.
So got to get over that, right?
Yeah. And you did.
Doesn't matter when you start, just as long as you start.
Yeah, I guess so. Robin, we need a segue from being embarrassed to donating blood.
Well, sometimes people feel questions are embarrassing, but you have to tell the truth about the questions, and that's what happens at Lifestyle Community Blood Centers. They have a lot of questions that they need to ask you, and you have to be honest, because your honesty will save somebody's life. So go to Lifestyle Community Blood Centers, donate blood, potentially save 3 lives.
Beautiful.
You know what you should do one day? You should have somebody who can imitate like Chris Farley or something. And have this Chris Farley imitator sitting in the room asking the questions. Have you ever had sex with a man?
That'd be funny.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that would be
great.
That
type of a person.
Yeah, that type of a delivery. That would be
That would
fun.
be your viral video right there.
Yeah.
All right, Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
We're at Rasmussen College today.
Rasmussen.
So pretty excited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty excited about being out there today. That's going to be a fun day.
Oh, good.
Huge turnout.
We got some educators coming here. Do we have Rasmussen?
I hope so.
No, not Rasmussen.
We don't have Rasmussen represented?
No, we don't.
If you can't get over to Rasmussen and donate blood, you can go right next door to the Cascades on Silver Springs Boulevard. That's where Life South sits in that brick and mortar building.
Yep.
I guess that's what it's made out of. And where would you go in Denell, Robin?
Right next door to Winn-Dixie.
Which is also
Winn-Dixie.
Brick and mortar. All right, Galen, you have a great day. Thank you for what you do, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you guys are the best. Thanks, y'all.
All right, we'll be right back.
You've got a garden, and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Where in Florida, we'll see a couple of showers and thunderstorms today with intervals of clouds and sun. The high 84 to 88. Mostly cloudy tonight with a shower and thunderstorm or 2, low 70 to 74. Clouds, some sun, warm and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and thunderstorms, high 86 to 90. And for Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with a couple of thunderstorms, high again 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. A GOP establishment upset in Virginia.
He was considered next in line to hold the Speaker's gavel, the number 2 Republican in the House, losing a GOP primary to a political novice.
The good news is dollars don't vote, and so people do, so I just paid attention to people.
Dave Brad, an economics professor, derailing what was thought to be another easy re-election for Eric Cantor in Virginia's 7th Congressional District.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern.
Cantor aides have not said whether or not the majority leader is considering a write-in effort for November's general election.
Brad facing off against Democrat Jack Tramiel. They both teach at the same small college in suburban Richmond, Virginia. The trucker involved in a crash that killed one person and injured comedian Tracy Morgan in New Jersey due in court today. And a probate judge in Los Angeles asked to confirm Shelley Sterling's authority to sell the LA Clippers. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business, Cavuto, shedding light on the biggest stories making headlines at 8. Only on the Fox Business.
Yeehaw! Howdy, folks. RL here to invite you to DQ. Dairy Queen is serving the crispiest, juiciest, most tasty chicken tenders, all beef chili dogs, and quarter-pound cheeseburgers on earth. And you get crispy fries, a drink, and an ice cream sundae of your choice for only $5. Remember, at DQ, you can lick their cones, but you can't beat their shakes. Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
Coming August 8th and 9th, the first annual Ocala Bike Fest. How would you like a chance to win a 2014 Harley Street Glide? How about a 2014 Indian Chief Vintage? The tickets are only $100 each, and each chance drawing has only 599 tickets. Now that is some great odds. All proceeds go to ARC. Questions, call 387-2210. The number again is 387-2210. Ocala Bike Fest. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Did you know that Marion County has a vast equine business? Tune in every Friday at 9:30 for Horse Sense, when we connect, communicate, and educate you on ways to participate in and enjoy all the equine adventures this area has to offer.
Sponsored in part by Infinite Day Spa, Almara Arabian Horses, and Florida Thoroughbred Breeders Owners Association, FTBOA.
Fridays at 9:30 right here on The Source.
I'm a different breed.
WOCA is proud to be part of the first annual Hispanic West Indian American Food and Music Festival Community Outreach. Authentic ethnic food and music. June 14th, 12 to 5 p.m. 125 Marion Oaks Trail, Marion Oaks. Salsa, Merengue Orchestra, West Indian Music, Islands Music DJ. For more information or to be a vendor, call 201-356-7156. That's 201-356-7156. June 14th, 12 to 5 p.m. 125 Marion Oaks Trail, Marion Oaks. Help support community awareness needs.
This is the Salvation Army, and I'm Major George Patterson to let you know that the Salvation Army is available 24 hours a day to provide help to anyone. We also have a family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala.